Okay, in this question we are given a frequency distribution and we need to answer 4 questions. If you look at the classes that we have here, you will see that it looks like it's about age. It could be something different, of course, totally different from age, but think of it as age just to make it easier for you, because you were not given how the classes were made. And then the first question that we're answering is, find the boundaries of the class 20 to 29. So we want to find the boundaries of this class. Remember how to find boundaries. You just subtract half from the small value, so it will be 19.5. So if you subtract half from 20, 0.5 from 20, you get 19.5, up to, you add half to the last value of the class, and you'll get 29.5. So these will be the boundaries of this class. And immediately from this you can conclude that the class width is equal to 29.5 minus 19.5, which is 10. So in this case the class width is 10. It was not asked for you to do it, but I'm just reminding you of what it means or how to do it. There is another way, of course, to do it, is to look at the difference between the lowest value in one of the classes and the one above it. So 10 minus 0 is 10. Or you can do, let's say here, 30 minus 20, which is 10. Or you can do 20 itself minus 10. So just any 2 consecutive classes, you just take the difference between them. Or you do the class boundaries, because it was asked of us to do the class boundary for a certain class, and then get the class width by subtracting the boundaries from each other. Okay, then the second one is to find the relative frequency of each class. The third one is the cumulative frequency of each class. And then the fourth one is the cumulative relative frequency. I can do it for each class also, but the question is asking you of a certain class. But anyways, I will do it for all classes so that you understand the idea. We will do this on the second page. So now I'm going to copy this frequency table and add some columns to it, and you'll see it on the next page. So I copied it as it is, and we see that the total of our values is 63. If you add all the frequencies, you get 63. So this means that in this study, let's say of age, as I mentioned at the beginning, you can think of it as age, then there were 63 people involved. That's the total number of people in this study, for example. Now, we want to make the relative frequency column. So let's remember, what is the relative frequency? You just take the frequency and find its percentage. So you divide this 16 by the total number 63 and multiply by 100 to get the percentage. In this case, if you do it, you'll get 25.4% or 40%, like this. So in this place, you'll say 25.40%. For the second number, 18, you do the same. 18 divided by 63 times 100, and this will give you 28.57%. And so you just put it here, 28.57%. If you keep on doing this for the rest of them, you will get the following numbers. For 11, you'll get 17.46%. for 10 you'll get 15.87%, and for 8 you'll get 12.70%. And of course, if we add all of them, we must get 100%. This is what we call the relative frequency. Now, let's look at the cumulative frequency. The cumulative frequency is the following. The first one, let's see how do we do it. We ask just ourselves, how many data values are less than 10? Those are the ones that will be in this class. So it will be 16. So you'll put here 16. Then let's erase this part. Okay, and then ask for the second cumulative frequency, you will be just going to the next number here and saying how many are less than 20, which means that you add the frequencies of this class and this class, which means you add 18 plus 16. Okay, and then if you do this, 18 plus 16, you should get 34. And so on, you keep on doing it. Now you got the idea. So actually, this 16 is just the same as the number here. The 34 is the 16 plus the 18. And then the next one will be the 16 plus the 18 plus the 11. Add them and you will get 45. And then the next one, you add another 10, so you'll get 55. Then you'll add an 8 and you get 63. And of course, this should agree with this number here, because this number, as you know, it's if you want to find cumulative frequency, you see how many are less than the next one, which is not there, but 50. How many data values that we have are less than 50, or you can say less than or equal to 49, 63, which is the total number of data. So this finishes the cumulative frequency. Now, for the last one, which is the cumulative relative frequency, it means that you just do the same as what you did between the cumulative frequency and frequency. Now, instead of these two, you will be doing these two, the ones here. So the first one will be just the 25.40%. You're adding now the relative frequencies, one to the other. So now you'll add this plus this to get the one after, and that should give you 53.97%. And then the one after, if you add 17.46, you will get 71.43%. And then you get 87.30%. And when you get all the data values, of course, everything adds up to 100%. And so I would like you to just know that some people, when they do this last column, they change what's written here, and instead of the class here, they would just say less than 10. And for this, they would say less than 20. And for this, less than 30. For this, less than 40. And for this, you can say less than 50, okay? But even though 50 is not included in this, but that's how it's written sometimes. Just pay attention to this. And also, when you do it this way, it shows you that this last column that we created about the cumulative relative frequency is the same as the percentile. So look at I mean, I defined the percentile and quartiles in different videos which had 4 parts. You can watch these, and then you would understand what I mean. Like this number, for example, here, what does it mean? This is means that we have 25.4% less than 10. So the 25.4% of our data is less than 10. Let's do, for example, this one here. This one here says that 87.30% of our data is less than 40. So it is kind of a percentile. It is actually a percentile. So if we go back to the question, you can see that we have solved actually, of course, we have solved 1, 2, and 3, and we solved 4 in detail. We did all of them, but they asked you to do it for the class 30 to 39. What is the cumulative relative frequency for this class? This is the same as asking what is the cumulative relative frequency of being less than 40. So in this case, if you look here, for this class, 30 to 39, the cumulative relative frequency was 87.3%. So I can say here, this was 87.30% or percentile. This is the percentage of data that are less than 40. So it's the same exact thing as percentile. And it's very nice if you can always make this table. Of course, if you're studying, you make this table. But during a quiz or a test, if you're asked to do this, notice that you will have to do the ones before it. So you'll have to do this one, this one, this one, until you reach it. So that's why it didn't hurt that we added just one more. We added the 12.7% to the 87, and we got the 100%. That was just one little extra thing that we did just to make the table complete. And by now, that I hope that you understand how to answer questions like this, and I will stop here.